Welcome to the Legal Growth Podcast, where we dive into the strategies, challenges, and success stories shaping the future of law firms. Hosted by Legal Growth Partners, this podcast features in-depth interviews with legal professionals, industry experts, and firm leaders who share insights on scaling, innovation, and business development in the legal world. I am your host, Aaron Fulk, and this week our guest is one of my favorite attorneys out there, Mr. Jeremy Keel. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm great. Now that I know I'm your favorite or one of.
Don't tell anybody, okay? Don't send them this. Don't tell them. No,
It's a secret.
you are such a joy to be around. I'm so excited that more people are going to get to learn about you. So this is your second podcast ever, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to kill it here. So let's just jump right in. Just give us a quick overview of how you chose law and how did you end up in estates?
So I think I chose law because I like the idea of the challenge, becoming a lawyer, being a lawyer, all of those things. I think prestige also had something to do with it. Like TV makes it seem like, it's all great and cool and things like that. So those were probably the biggest draws that got me here. And my specialty of like estate planning, probate world, I like working with people. So I like solving problems. I like being creative. And this kind of allows me to merge all of those things. I'm face to face with clients. They come to me with problems. I get to help solve the problems, things like that. And people are always nice to me in this practice area as well. They're usually happy when they get here and happy when they leave. So that helps.
Did you think while you were in law school you were going to end up in like estate?
I did like these classes when I had them in law school. Tax, estate planning, elder law. They were all ones that I did like. So yeah, I had an idea.
That's awesome. Going into law school though, had you even really known about it?
I'm not sure if when I went into law school, I realized that I had to get a job. I just realized that I was still in school. I was like, okay, well, here we are, 3 more years. So.
Right. Amazing. So what has been your biggest growth success story so far?
Probably learning this practice area. So I've been doing this for about almost 3 years now. And I'm pretty proud of the progress that I've made starting from aside from law school, which, you do learn some things in law school, but not a lot. And so I have basically no knowledge of this world. And a lot of this is in the probate world anyways, it's state specific too. So learning all of that stuff, getting to where I am now, as opposed to 3 years ago, is probably the biggest thing.
I love that. So what has been your favorite like non-legal skill that surprisingly has been very helpful while you've been learning, while you've been growing in both your career and growing your firm?
It sounds kind of pretentious, but I feel like I'm pretty personable. So I feel like I'm pretty genuine in the fact that I'm the same person, whether you are a client, you are my friend, you are a professional colleague. It's kind of, I am who I am. And so that makes me maybe a little more approachable and easy to talk to, which clients appreciate. I am pretty transparent whenever it comes to things I do or don't know. So I'm pretty good at asking questions and, getting the answers that I need if I'm like going to a mentor or a boss or someone to learn something that I might not know.
I love that. I don't think it sounds pretentious. I think you are a very personable person and you come off authentic no matter where you're at.
Well, thank you.
So I think you should brag on that more, sir. All right. So looking ahead, what trends or changes do you see shaping the future of law firms, and how are you positioning your firm to stay competitive during those?
Well, we did hire a great marketing company, which helps keep us on the cutting edge. And beyond that, technology, is certainly the biggest thing that is going to be changing, has been changing. Not just broadly technology, but like AI things, drafting software. So I think the technology can be super beneficial for anyone if you use it correctly and or know how to use it. So the same technology that could help me with my job if I was drafting someone's estate planning documents could be detrimental to a layperson if they are trying to draft their own documents. So like if someone was drafting their own last will and testament or a trust or whatever with LegalZoom, God forbid, or some other, platform that they find and they're doing just plug and play, thinking that they've got it all figured out, they might miss a step or not know that they should go a step further in the plan, in the what if decision tree, which means that at the end of all of this, when someone has died, they could have some catastrophic issue, and then they have to come back to us anyways. to help us solve the probate estate. I've had one example where a guy used some software online. I don't know what he did. He did a last will and testament for his stepmom, who he thought of as his mom, yada, yada. He did not add a residuary clause at the end. So it said all of this to this person, this to this person, and that was it. It did not say all of the rest, residue, and remainder of my estate to XYZ. And so those specific distributions were able to happen, but there was no clause in there that said all of the rest of it should go to him, in theory, and he was not a blood relative. And he said that he didn't know any blood relatives that she had. And I think we were only talking about like, I don't know, it was like $10,000 to $15,000. So a decent amount of money, but not enough to go through the mess that would have ensued to try and figure all that out. And it was just like that one little clause. He could have added one sentence and solved his whole problem, but he didn't. And now he's lost $15,000 of his inheritance. So.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I bet you see some pretty crazy things when you're doing this too sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's little things like that where in the estate planning world anyways, people think that they don't need it. We've had some people who've told us their financial advisors have told them you don't need to have an estate plan, which is kind of hilarious. In theory, people don't necessarily need a trust, certainly, but you do need, in case of emergency, type of documents, the powers of attorney, living will, medical directives, stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of people, I think the craziest stuff is just when people come to us and or don't want to come to us, whatever. They come and they just think that, well, I don't need this because of this, or I know what's going on because my friend told me this, or I looked this up online, whatever. But
or this is what ChatGPT said.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of that. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question I didn't prep you for, but I think this is really good because you are still kind of in the beginning parts of your career. So if somebody was thinking about going to law school right now, what advice would you give them?
Well, I'm very type A, practical minded. So I would say, think about the dollars. Does it make sense? I mean, you need a passion. You do need to have some, aptitude to learning and taking on challenges, yada, yada, things like that. But nowadays it is a big financial commitment. I mean, school is expensive. Books are expensive. Most schools don't want you working your first year. Some people, I think, can typically work their second and third years. That's what I did. To help minimize some of the expense. But yeah, that's, I think, the biggest things is what type of law would you want to practice? And there are so many people out there. Like I have a high schooler in my email inbox right now that I need to call who is saying, hey, I'm kind of interested in this world. Would you be willing to talk to me? And so I need to call him and kind of, see what questions he has or tell him what the day-to-day is like. So do your research and kind of explore what practice areas would you want to do? What practice areas are there? Because they're kind of infinite. You don't know that kind of stuff ahead of time. And just really think about it because it is a great career. It can be a lucrative career as well. But at the same time, I know a lot of people who went through law school, made it to the end. Maybe they didn't pass the bar exam or didn't take the bar exam or did pass the bar exam, but then chose not to practice. And they find themselves in some other career path that maybe they didn't need the law school experience at all to get there. So,
all right. So just do your research first.
Yeah. Take it more seriously than I did.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy, I think you're right on pace with saying that your skills personal, because even on here, you can feel that authenticity coming through. So thank you so much for coming on.
Happy to be here.
And thank you for joining us on the Legal Growth Podcast presented by Legal Growth Partners. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, drop us a review, and share it with your colleagues because great insights are even better when shared. For more tips and tools to help grow your practice, visit legalgrowthpartners.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep smiling.